What's going on, everyone? This is Ryan with Automatic Comics, and I decided to film this video today because I just got a package in with a couple books, and it wasn't exactly shipped the way I love. Now, I mean, you can see it's pretty thin. This is in a flat rate envelope, and I am not one to complain about books if they are, shipped poorly and they arrive safe. They arrive safe, I don't really care. Some people I see out there, like, they'll just complain if they're shipped a way that they don't like. If the book arrives safe, I'm fine. Now, I realize that it could eventually burn that person, that seller, down the line, but generally it doesn't matter to me if the book arrives safe. But this one, you can see, it's not very big. It's not much bigger than the comic, and the corners are kind of dented up. And if this was a really low grade book, I wouldn't care. And but the thing is that there's two books in here. One of them is a very low grade book. The other one might be the best copy of that book that exists, and it's from 1949. So that one makes me a little bit more nervous because I really hope that a corner isn't damaged or anything. So I thought I would, I'd open this up and we'll see how it is. Now, it does feel like there's cardboard in here, so that's at least good. But it's just that the amount of space that is available between the edges, where I'm seeing these dings in the book, makes me a little bit nervous. So let's just, let's open this up, and so there is cardboard on the inside, so that's good. And we'll see how much buffer we have, to those dings on the corner. And I don't want to damage the book getting it out of here. But so, for me, if I'm using these types of envelopes for protection, not even for protection, just kind of for shipping, I use the flat rate legal envelope sizes. They're a little bit bigger, and you can fit an actual Gemini mailer inside of them. And so if I'm doing that, it's because I want to use a Gemini mailer, but I also want to ship it priority. And so for that, I'll use the flat rate legal envelopes because they're just a little bit bigger, a little more buffer. And like I said, you can fit a Gemini. And so they're good for if you're shipping maybe 6 or 8 raw books that aren't super expensive as high dollar books. You want to do more cardboard and packaging and all that. But, it works well to keep your shipping costs down. All right. So here it is. It's inside these. It looks okay. It is, you can tell, it's right up to the edge. So it's close, but I can't complain. It looks like I don't see any damage there. And this does seem like it's pretty firm. It's not even, I don't even know if I'd call it cardboard. It's actually it's actually a whole bunch of, see here, it's a bunch of individual boards. So it does seem like it's looking pretty good. So I'm happy about that. So now let's check out these books. So like I said, one of them is very low grade. It's I think it's a 1, 1 or at best a 1.5, and I think it is very likely that one is a 1. The other one, I think, man, the tape is always so frustrating. It's just one of these things where using packaging tape around the books just makes it so likely that you can add additional damage. I kind of always talk about this, for packaging, especially on the inside of the bag or the box or whatever, near the comic, I just highly recommend using painter's tape. Just the blue painter's tape, and it just makes everything so much easier. Whenever I'm doing that, I also make little tabs where you fold over the end, just so it makes it a little bit easier on the person to get it out and reduce the likelihood of damage. Because I did have one time that I shipped a book before I used to do that, and I would use the eBay packaging tape on the inside, and the person took the book out, and everyone was excited about the book, and they set it down on the packaging tape. So it wasn't the fault of it, but it was something that was then around that caused damage, where if it had been painter's tape, you know, they may have been able to remove it without, you know, damaging the book some, and it, you know, it did end up damaging the book. They didn't blame me for it, you know, it was them opening it and touching the book with that tape, but still, like, I try to keep that type of tape. See, I'm talking a lot here because it's taken me a while to get, I try to keep that type of tape away from the comics, and man, it's just because one of these books is so high grade potentially that I don't want to risk damaging it. So now it's like it's inside this bag thing, and it's all packaging tape again, which is just, you know, I'm just gonna have to tear the bag, and I should have even brought like scissors, I guess, instead of a razor blade. But yeah, it's just sometimes, you know, and this is just something that you kind of learn over time as you're shipping stuff and all that, like, because I definitely, when I was first shipping books, I was using probably too much tape, and it's just not necessary. You know, like it's just not necessary to have like this amount of tape. You can definitely keep things safe with a much smaller amount of tape on the interior. Like, things aren't going to be moving around. All right, so we got it out. Okay, so here's the first book. This is a low-grade book. Actually, let's see, do I want to, there's a bunch of stickers all over the front. I'm just going to take it out of the bag. All right, so it's probably going to fall apart because I think like the cover is like split and detached and some pieces missing and all that. So I'm just going to take it out so don't have these stickers in the way. So this is the first one here, and it is Flash Comics number 88. And so yeah, it is a split spine. You can see like the cover, you know, comes right off. And but it is all there. I mean, I'll do the page count and everything to make sure. It is all there. The back also, obviously, you know, is split and detached. If it was just split, you know, they say you can get as high as a 1.8 if it's pretty clean. But because this is missing, you know, this additional pieces coming, missing this additional paper at the top and everything, I think it has a shot at a 1. I think it could be a 1. And so, yeah. It's always, it's like a little challenge to like hold it together, because I mean, it's still like colors are great, but it is missing some stuff. There's the back. I'm gonna check real quick just to see what the page quality is like, because that can be a deciding factor then, you know, if it gets that 0.5 or it gets a 1. CGC loves to give you 0.5s when you have that type of splitting and brittle pages. Page quality looks pretty nice though. I mean, it's probably like cream or cream to off-white, but you know, like, it flips through real well. There's no pieces flaking off, and I mean, the centerfold looks like it's probably, yeah, centerfold is, let's see here, centerfold's fully attached. So yeah, like the page quality itself is decent, so that's good. So this, I think, would get a 1. I would safely estimate this book as a 1, because this is actually one of the books I'm thinking of sending it in just because I kind of want to see what it'll get. And I have a few books that I want to send in that don't need to be pressed. And so like this is a perfect example of a book that does not need to be, you know, like pressed and clean before you send it in. And so I have a few books like that, and I wanted to have, you know, I like having a few more to submit together so that it helps reduce the, or spread the cost of shipping. So on the way there, as well as the return shipping on the way back from CGC. So I always like to try to send more than one book, because if you just send one book or 2 books or whatever, your shipping costs actually become a pretty significant portion of the cost depending on the value of the book. All right, now the next book. This is the one that I felt looked really nice, and we'll see once I get it out. This one would definitely be graded if it is as nice as I thought it looked to be. But this one's from 1949. It's not a key or anything. Maybe it has a little more, but it might press. That's what I was wondering. It might press. I thought maybe it had a shot at an 8. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what pressing might do for it. But this is Star Spangled Comics. I think it's number 98, is it? Star Spangled Comics. Yeah, number 98. It's right there. But it's just, it looked like a very clean copy. But you can see if you look at an angle in the light, see if I can get it to show up. There's like some indentations and things. See how I got to turn it to get it to show. Not doing a very good job of it. Let's see if I can. They're like kind of over here. I don't know, it's hard to see them. But they are there. Let's see if maybe this, nope, not helping either. But there are like some indentations and things, though, things that I think could press out. There is a, like kind of like a light crease down in the corner there, but it still even isn't coming out too great on camera. You can maybe see it. On the back cover looks pretty nice. You know, overall, just a solid looking book from 1949. I mean, spine wear and like color breaking ticks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Maybe like 17 color breaking ticks. And then there's like other little things. So, I mean, maybe it gets more like a 7, something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of want to send it in regardless, just to see how it does. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking book, really bright colors. Like I said, not like a key or anything. I just felt like it was a really solid presenting copy. And so I wanted to give it a try and see how it does. This one, like I said, will absolutely have to be pressed and cleaned first. It just has too much, you know, in terms of little like indentations and all that kind of thing for me to not have that done. It would definitely impact the value of the book if I didn't, or the grade of the book if I didn't have that done. But yeah, those are the two books. Both look like they arrived safe. I'm happy with both of them. I would say the Star Spangled one maybe has a few more things on it than I was thinking there might be, but we'll still see how it takes a press, because it is, you know, still a 1949, so a 76-year-old book, and so we'll see, you know, how that comes out with the grading gods. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, and I will see you on the next one.